Good morning and happy Tuesday. My name is Nayoka Lynn. So I've had something on my mind for the last couple of days, and it was an experience that I had about 10 years ago, I guess now. And I wanted to share it. And I just want to make mention. I quit coffee. So now I'm drinking herbal tea. Okay, so I'm just proud of me. I'm doing good. Okay, so 10 years ago, I used to go to these meetings in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I just loved them. It was a bunch of weird people like me. Anyway, um, during the meeting, they were mentioning that the Archangel chair was coming back to town. And I didn't know what they were talking about. So when I asked later, they said, oh, it's this guy, Rick Ferguson from Texas. He built an Archangel chair with the instructions from an angel who showed up, I believe it was in his living room. Now, you find that hard to believe? I do not. Anyway, and I said, really, what is it? What is this chair? And they said, oh, yeah, there's so many different experiences in this chair. You know, people talk about it all the time. Some folks don't experience anything. Other folks experience all kind of stuff. So I was in. I was in. We found out it was going to take place at it's like a meditation place with one of the Louisiana residents. And I wanted to go. So me and my friend, we made a plan to go. And I told myself that morning when I woke up, I'm just going to relax. Whatever happens, happens. I have no expectation. I'm just not going to resist. So we went over to the place and we took our little place in line. We sat there talking, and my friend went in first. She came out and I immediately went in. So the setup, it was like, the chair was absolutely stunning, actually. It was all embedded with crystals. There was a copper pyramid over it, and there was these, looked like copper, I don't know what they were, but these copper things next to it. And Rick was very pleasant. He told me to have a seat. He gave me something for my feet so they wouldn't dangle. And he told me just to put headphones on. It's just music, just to relax. So I was like, okay. So I sat there and I put my arms on the arms of the chair, and I just relaxed. And I put the headphones on and I thought, okay, this is it. I'm not going to resist. But when I couldn't feel my arms, I started to resist. I was like, okay, just relax, just relax. So I did. Next thing you know, the very next thing you know, it was like I shot out of my body, and I am in between two red walls of rock. Okay. And I'm not walking, I'm kind of just gliding. And it's like red clay rocks, big walls. So I'm gliding through. And at the end, I can see the end. I can see the end of it, you know, the opening. So I'm just gliding along. As I'm getting closer, I see this man. He had to be at least 18 feet tall. He had on pants, no shirt. His hair was about shoulder length. It was black. It was combed back. He had the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. And he's smiling as I'm coming closer. Now, you can think what you want to think. I know I was there. And may I just remind you that you are not your body. No, you have a consciousness. Yes, that inhabits, your soul inhabits this body. It's a vessel. But there I was, and I see this man. And as I got closer, he kind of put his arm out, like, take my hand, you know. So I did. And when I did that, there were these, it was a spiral of like purples and blues and silvers, and it was going round and round and round, and we shot right through that thing. So there I was in outer space. I am flying next to this man, and he keeps looking at me, smiling, and I'm just amazed, and I'm going along, and it started to feel normal. And suddenly, I'm looking around, and I thought about my family, and I whooshed around, and I saw Earth. And Earth wasn't as I envisioned it before that. I just thought it was this pretty blue and green ball, you know. No, it had like all kind of white around it, I guess like clouds or something. But there was Earth. And as soon as I started thinking about my family, like my aunt, for some reason, my aunt, I got a vision of her house. And when I did that, it was like this vacuum. It was like a vacuum. It sucked me right back into Earth. And when that happened, I sat up in the chair and I opened my eyes and I looked around. Now, the session that I booked, I think it was like 30 minutes. This felt like 5 minutes. It happened. Bam. Well, when I opened up my eyes and I'm looking around, I saw Rick sitting over there and he goes, "Well, where did you go?" And I thought, oh my God, I gotta tell you. Now, what Rick used to do is he used to take pictures of your energy field as you're going through this, and he used to give you the disc so that you could see it. Now, I was blown away. That was the highlight of my whole year. And I just, I was telling everybody about it. And when I got home with my disc, this young friend that I used to know, he came over and he wanted to hear about the experience I had. So I set up my computer on my table and I popped the disc in. I said, I got to show you this. And when I did that, now mind you, I had seen this disc, the pictures, at least 6, 7 times. My friend and I, we compared ours, you know, to see what was going on. But there was one particular picture that got distorted. And I was like, this is strange. This wasn't like this before. So I thought, okay. So I showed him the rest of the pictures. I thought maybe something happened to the disc. So I showed him all the pictures and we went through them a couple of times. Well, on the third time, the picture returned back to normal. I thought, what the heck? And on the picture, it was like you could see me sitting there in the chair, and it looked like a soul heading this way out of me, and above it was this big circle. And I said out loud, I said, that was me going through that I called it a stargate, what looked like a stargate. And we just got so tickled by that. Well, then another friend, I was doing her baby shower, she came over and I was showing her the disc and all the pictures. Well, again, this picture flipped back to this distorted view of it. It was like, looked like kind of like an x-ray. And she said, well, what is that? I said, you're not going to believe this. This picture keeps flipping back and forth. And so when we were going through it again, after, you know, it stayed the same, but then after she left, I looked again and it went back. So I emailed Rick and I told him what was going on. And I emailed him both pictures and he said that had never happened in all the years that he was working with the Archangel Chair. Well, I got to tell you that I still have that disc and I still have the pictures. But that was quite an experience. Now this morning when I got up, I thought about it again because it's been on my mind the last few days, and I was kind of saddened to realize that Rick had passed the beginning of the year. So I just want to say thank you, Rick. Thank you for that amazing experience. We have experiences. I've had a few that were a little out of the ordinary, I guess you could say. And I know that they weren't random. They were there to show me something. Did I learn something from that experience? Yes. I learned something about consciousness. And I learned that in our consciousness, we don't necessarily need vehicles or anything. We can be somewhere just by thinking it. Yeah. Do with that what you will. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to share my experience with the Archangel chair. That'll always be with me. And I heard the chair was up for sale. I don't know if they actually sold it or not, but what I saw on the post was, I guess they were selling it for $60,000. If I had the money, I surely would buy that. Anyway, all right, well, I hope you are enjoying your Tuesday, and it's a beautiful morning. I've got a few things to do today. I'm excited. I've got things happening in my life again. Yes. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Get some sunshine. Put your feet out there in the dirt, the grass, the sand, whatever you got. Know that your thoughts, everything begins with a thought. Your thoughts are everything. Yeah. My name is Nayoka Lynn. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.